Welcome to Home Hive. I'm Kristen with Kristen Krebs Interiors. Today we are going to talk to Bob Link, who we talked to actually last week. He is the co-founder of the ADU Coalition. So let's go check it out. Welcome to Home Hive. My name is Kristen with Kristen Krebs Interiors, and I am here with Bob Link today. He is the co-founder of the ADU Coalition. So tell us a little bit about you.
Hey, Kristen, thank you very much.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of opportunity to meet over the last couple of months with the ADU Coalition, and it's exciting that we're developing as we are. The announcement as of this morning is AIA has welcomed the ADU Coalition as a subcommittee. As the founder of the coalition, we've grown, have professionals as yourselves, architects, financiers, looking at bringing alternative housing into San Diego.
Yeah, that's
and
fantastic.
It's,
that's
opportunity to meet a need.
Yeah, and that's exciting news. For those who don't know, what is AIA?
AIA is the American Institute of Architecture, firmly planted in San Diego with a professional cadre of people focused on the homes that you and I live in and the buildings and supporting condos and apartments. Yeah. And to have them on board with the ADU Coalition, we bring it down to new dwellings that can be added to the environment.
Yeah, that's exciting news. Can you tell us a little bit more about why that is exciting news, especially for those people who don't know maybe what even an ADU is, or why the coalition exists, or AIA, why that's important even?
Okay, yeah, appreciate that. We're all into knowing everything, and then we have to share a little bit better.
Yeah.
San Diego, in July, a couple of years ago, passed an opportunity, a change in the ordinance to welcome companion units. Companion units intended as granny flats or for students or for affordable housing for people, and then can be added to R1 residence lots. Statewide, companion units are more commonly known as ADUs, Accessory Dwelling Units. It can also be called companion flats, and people might have other names for them. But it's adding a single dwelling unit to a property, which can serve as an affordable and economical solution, a right-size solution for the property that's available. Yeah. And through AIA, they're intended to be designed and fully developed so they'll be complementary to the neighborhood. Yeah. It's exciting to have an opportunity to say, look, what can we do with our neighborhoods? How can we welcome a diverse population into the community? And ADUs provides one of those opportunities. Certainly not the answer for everybody, but it's one of those opportunities.
Yeah, that's amazing. So how do ADUs help the housing crisis that's happening?
Okay, with the housing crisis, we have a couple of things that we're focusing on. When I met with Jared Basler, architect last year's Young Architect of the Year, congratulations, Jared. We had an opportunity to look at what does this mean for affordable housing? What does this mean for homelessness? What does this mean for students? And at the other end, what does it mean for seniors? And it answers each of those questions in various capacities. For the affordable population, which I would suggest is probably the majority people that are interested, we have an opportunity to bring in small units appropriately sized for an ADU. Small being a relative term, they can go from a couple hundred square feet to 1,200 square feet. Yeah. They are placed on property. They need to be accessible. The state of California has helped us out greatly this year by reducing requirements for parking and incidentals and minimizing the barriers. But the particular help for the housing solution is if we can add 10,000 units, for example, in San Diego County, we've put a significant dent in the homeless population.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So I think a lot of people tend to have a misconception of what affordable housing is. A lot of times people consider that maybe low-income housing. And can you tell us a little bit about the difference between those two and how they?
That's an excellent question, because affordable housing is not intended to be, bringing low price, minimum quality housing. Affordable housing is intended to be fully quality-oriented housing that is something that someone can afford within their budget. The way I think of it is, if we look at an opportunity to say, let's look at a budget. and we say, what can you reasonably afford for housing so that you can then, enjoy the opportunities that are available to you, look forward to education and meals
Yeah.
and enjoyment opportunities. And the typical guideline is 30%. 30% of your income should go toward housing, whether it be mortgage and taxes, whether it be rental housing, whether we have an opportunity to share costs in another way. Could be subsidized, could be unsubsidized housing. Don't want to ignore the fact that we are looking at people that are really need an opportunity to advance themselves.
Sure.
But affordable is trying to bring people within a budget so that they can take a breath and then look at other opportunities they have to advance.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, can you tell us what's in store for the ADU Coalition in the future? I mean, you've kind of told us a little bit about how we got to where we are now and the current changes that just happened as of yesterday, so that's great. But can you tell us a little bit more about where the ADU Coalition is going in the future?
Okay, and yeah, appreciate that opportunity. The ADU Coalition was formed around looking at various types and styles of properties and specifically working with the city to say, okay, how can we make this as least burdensome, to reduce the bureaucracy, to reduce the time frame. And the ADU Coalition, and all credit due to Jared Basler, our godfather of Granny Flats, for working with the city, and compliments to the city, Gary Geiler and many others that have gone forward into embracing an alternate form of housing in the community. What the ADU Coalition has succeeded at for the last 18 months or so is to have this coordinate with the City of San Diego for production of its companion unit handbook. And that companion unit handbook is available on the city website. And it's pretty descriptive, pretty lengthy, but at the same time graphically oriented, so you can combine, instructional words with pictures and everything. Okay, this makes sense to me. And the ADU Coalition was able to contribute to that. The city credited the ADU Coalition for our effort in a couple different ways. Number one, incorporating the format that we're working with and we recommend to help people understand what ADUs mean to them, and also an opportunity to refer to the adu.org website, aducoalition.org, and through that website then we'll connect with people either specifically to address questions if they have interest levels in the ADU Coalition, and through our sponsors and through our membership have an opportunity to address those needs and meet those needs, and do it in a timeline that eliminates the bureaucracy. It's intended to be a friendly give and take, responding as quickly as we can with information and providing an opportunity for people to ask questions. So the ADU Coalition is moving on from a formative stage, with the companion unit handbook, working with the county and cities such as Encinitas and several others that are looking at opportunities to say, okay, what's the right opportunity with ADUs that we have for our community, and then even beyond that, expanding within the state of California. And AIA is a heavy hitter in that regard.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So the ADU Coalition is kind of designed for people who are not only in this profession who want to support the building of ADUs and the design of ADUs, in addition to being homeowner facing, really, right? So that the homeowner can come to the website to get the information that they need, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. We want to make sure that that's corrected.
Yeah, that's exactly correct, Kristen. What we're looking at doing is an opportunity to make homeowners comfortable with asking questions and getting the detailed answers that they need. And it starts with the definition of a homeowner, if you will. The state of California this summer expanded the homeowner opportunity to include those that are within HOAs. So there's an opportunity for private residence homeowners as well as homeowners that are in an HOA environment to be able to add an ADU to their property. And we need to respect the HOAs. We need to respect the communities. They all have desires to make sure that it's compatible and complementary to the neighborhood. And there's no reason that we can't do that. But the connection is what's important, and the ADU Coalition is what provides that connection.
Yeah, okay, great. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about specifically related to the ADU Coalition? I know you're involved in a lot of other nonprofit organizations. So.
Yeah, thank you for that. The ADU Coalition grew out of my interest in addressing affordable housing issues, and as well as addressing homelessness issues. And I think we have a sincere opportunity here to connect with the professional environment. Some of my early mentors, if you will, in this whole arena have been real estate professionals themselves. Robert Weichelt was an early member. I was introduced to him through some of the community groups, East Village Residents Group and the Downtown Community Planning Council.
Oh, nice.
And he was a very influential member. Kyle Peterson, an architect in the community. Anna Gramling, a realtor who I've worked with on the East Village Residents Group and has been instrumental in helping residents, safety, security, complementary environment procedures. The nonprofits have been influential in promoting ADU. In particular, Uplift San Diego, which I had shared with you.
Yeah.
Uplift is a nonprofit that focuses on tutoring youth, focuses on homeless opportunity to get established with, bank accounts, medical care, things that you and I think is routine, and we have in the back of our minds, pictures of emergency rooms and everything else. But it doesn't need to be that way. We can help people get incorporated. And Uplift San Diego is one of those nonprofits that does that. Uplift was an early sponsor of the ADU Coalition, along with AIA. And had an opportunity to focus and meet that need to develop affordable opportunities and ADU opportunities. Uplift is coming up on their annual event. Uplift calls their annual event a tribute, and it's a tribute to influential community members that have met needs that are helping you and I enjoy San Diego.
Yeah.
And at the coming tribute, the host is Mark Larson, familiar to many of us on radio and TV.
Yeah.
And the guest speaker is going to be retired Admiral Herring, which is popular currently the executive director of I Love a Clean San Diego.
Nice.
So it integrates those nonprofits together, and we look forward to working with Admiral Herring with the ADU Coalition to say, okay, here's an environmentally responsible way. In addition to traditional, if you would, stick-built housing, which are designed by the architects and perfectly familiar in the environment. The Companion Unit Handbook published by the city also welcomes modular units, an opportunity to have factory-built manufactured housing brought into the environment. An economical need, and I'm involved in some of the enterprises associated with that. But appreciate that question.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about the modular? I know very little.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Modular housing has been popular in the States in a traditional wood-built format. There's many companies that produce and do extremely well in San Diego County and beyond. And modular housing is put together in a factory, delivered to a site, and just oversimplify the situation, lowered onto an existing pad and connected to the utilities.
Yeah.
Modular housing is popular worldwide in many different aspects. The new format of modular housing is steel frame modular housing. Some people think of these as converted shipping containers, which is an alternative. And converting shipping containers certainly has an opportunity to meet a need where people are taking an existing 8x20 or 8x40 format and working in windows and doors and interiors that meet those living condition requirements. And you can connect multiple units together. Steel frame provides an advantage in that they're a little bit more portable than some of the older alternatives.
Okay.
They can be installed, even for a relatively short-term lease basis, and an opportunity for homeowners. Through the modular units, that is now particularly focused on by the YIGB group, Yes in God's Backyard, where we're working with faith-based institutions to install modular housing on faith-based properties, those that have properties available, some of which can be exciting, like over the parking lot, and construct a couple stories there and provide an opportunity for the ministry of the faith-based organization, whatever that focus may be. Or it could be available for rental housing. Tied together with the question has been an opportunity to work with the county and several knowledgeable and influential people that have really drilled down to details such as information for the new landlords. When you put an ADU in your backyard, you kind of forget if it's not a family-oriented venture, but is actually a long-term rental income opportunity for the homeowner.
Sure.
They become a landlord.
Yeah.
And they need to learn how to do that. So on the aducoalition.org website, we have a link available for that effort. Through the professions, what I encourage is the opportunity through the coalition, yourself and many others, to work with the professionals, to work with the realtors, to introduce ADU on a for sale property, to look at existing properties that might be within their inventory, if you will, of homes that are available for sale, or mixed commercial properties that are available for sale, and identify them as ADU opportunities. ADUs are going to be a significant contributor to our housing crisis.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I think there's even a statistic out there that says that something along the lines of Americans live way beyond their means. In general, our houses are too big for us, really.
Guilty as charged.
So, it's a great alternative to allow all the people who are coming into California to be able to not only be able to afford housing, but to even find housing. Because we're running out of it. What are we at, like a 3% vacancy rate right now? And I think we're usually at like a 6%.
And we're very fortunate the vacancy rate equals the interest rate. So there's a lot of opportunities for people to consider housing that they might not have considered. Yeah, ADUs in their nature oversimplified a little bit because, modular and stick built can be done in economical other than ADUs. ADUs are intended to be additions to existing R1 properties. But they provide everything from a stepping stone to somebody that's here now and say, hey, I need a place to keep dry while I figure my life out. Or people that might be seniors and saying, hey, look, this is well beyond what I need, and what I'd really like is a small, comfortable environment that I can live in a portion of my estate, and then we can get rental income from the main residence. So there's extremes at both ends. And introduction of affordable housing is critical, related to several items in the news. For example, the conversion of Horton Plaza from a shopping center to a commercial property. It's been said by Stockdale and others they project 4,000 jobs coming into San Diego. Well, the funny thing about jobs, it requires people in housing. And many of those people are related not only to the high-tech industries that might be employed in that environment with salaries that are meant to attract the appropriate skilled individuals, but there's going to be a lot of service people too. And the service people associated with that need affordable alternatives, and also very complementary to the San Diego climate crisis and our declared intention to resolve some of those problems. If we can bring people closer into the jobs, if we can have environments where people can feel comfortable accessing public transportation. Sandag has been very active in, reaching out and saying, look, are there good public transportation alternatives available? And, do we have this puzzle, fit correctly together? A lot of new and exciting opportunities, Kristen. And ADUs are, again, a contributing factor. And there's a lot of good thinkers and planners and architects in San Diego that are, well beyond the ADUs. But the ADUs is a start.
Yeah. At least we're starting somewhere. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to tell us about the ADU Coalition? I know we have an event coming up with Uplift. That is on November 15th, right?
Correct. Yeah, November 15th. We encourage people to be interested in that. You'll have an opportunity to meet several that are involved in the coalition, and then other broader base people of individuals, including, of course, Admiral Herring with I Love a Clean San Diego. That'll be a fun opportunity. The ADU Coalition itself meets on the second Tuesday at noon right now at the AIA headquarters on 233 A Street, and we welcome people to join in those meetings. One of our sponsors is putting together a 14 November celebration of the success of the ADU, particularly, of course, focused on this new opportunity with AIA. And on the 14th, that's available in the evening, and we'll make sure that's up on the aducoalition.org website.
Perfect. So if you want to know anything more about ADUs, you want to go to aducoalition.org, right?
Yeah. Excellent. Kristen, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Is Isn't Bob Link an awesome guy? I really appreciate everything that he's doing in the community. So again, if you want to know more about the ADU Coalition, which he is the co-founder of, go to aducoalition.org, and you can always reach out to me directly if you have any other questions. So stay tuned, we'll see you next week.